founding iCentra when you did, how were you able to journey in a market where, I mean, obviously age and experience is something that a lot of people look out for when they try to engage with any organization? Was it because you were in a nascent industry that really didn't have so many established players? Or was it because you had done the conference and built trust? What really set you apart, and how did you go about showing some form of credibility, in the eyes of people who will trust you with the projects to manage? And was it just the certification, or because you had the certification, or what was it? What was like, or was it a combination of things?
I didn't announce myself as the CEO of the company at that then.
Tell me about that.
Yes, you will just see I didn't even have a title. I was just a project manager within the organization, ensuring that projects were delivered, because I needed the experience of more established people.
So did you do this as you felt like maybe it would help the brand better if you did not identify as its MD/CEO?
So for me, I didn't want to limit the organization to my size as at then, okay? Because I was pretty small. When I say small, not in size, but I mean when it comes to what was required for the market as at then. Okay, I didn't have the resources at the disposal of the big boys, right?
True.
So for me, I was more focused on getting the job done, while I assembled a team of more experienced people, all right, as the consultants for the organization. I had to speak to them to say, hey, I need you to be as part of the consulting faculty for my brand. And because they trusted me, some of them were from UK, some of them were from America, and I needed to form some form of alliance.
Were you paying them, or?
No, it was just, per gigs, right?
Okay.
If the opportunities come back, because they trusted me, all right? They were ready to work with iCentra at then. So it was me standing on the shoulders of giants, and because most of them were not in Abuja, and they realized that I formed relationships with the organizations that they were trying to do business with, I could easily reach those organizations. So if there was a job, there was partnerships, and it was easier for everybody to have my vehicle as the vehicle for getting the job done. So I was just going about as the project engineer or project manager, stroke the business development person, get a job, manage the job, bring the expertise that is required, from across the world to get the job done, irrespective of the clients that we're serving. So for me, we did that for a few years until we had grown in balls. And we felt, what? Okay, it's time to put a face behind the brand. But for me, it was more about getting the brand, the competence of the brand, and what the organization could do first, and bring in the people that could get the job done, as against, showing up and trying to be like, oh, I'm the CEO of this. Even when I was doing PromoCon, it was about the idea, the vision. I wasn't the one. I never do the speaking, right? I just opened the conference. I had a chairman, so I had to ensure that the vision was, at any point in time, was bigger than me. So I didn't limit whatever I was doing to Taopheek.
In the age of social media now, where it's so easy to just position, entrepreneurs doing themselves a disservice by positioning themselves, oh, I'm the MD CEO of this particular organization, or would they be wiser to follow the approach that you just shared earlier now?
So that's a very tricky one, right? We're in the age of self-branding, right?
Yeah.
Okay, personal brand and all that. But it depends on the industry that you're playing in.
Okay.
If you're a fashion entrepreneur, style entrepreneur, media entrepreneur, some businesses are better, personalized. So if I want to if I want a stylist, a makeup artist, I want MC and all of that, I don't need to go through a company to get that done. I want to be sure that this stylist can get the job done for me.
Okay.
This fashion guy or the tailor is a guy that I can speak to. Okay. So for businesses that are personal in nature, it's okay to position as the alpha and omega, because at the end of the day, the craft is about you. Okay. But for professional service, that requires, one of the requirements of professional service industry is years of experience, number of partners or the resources that you have. And, there are so many things, dynamics that are attached to it. If you want to start an engineering or a drilling company right now, they're going to look at your equipment, your capabilities, and all of that. If I see a 21-year-old positioning as the CEO of a quote-unquote global consulting firm, would I want to? Because your job is more of experience and advisory. Okay, what experience does a 21-year-old have? Okay, to advise a 20-year-old company, all right, or a CEO that has, what solution do you want to deliver for me? Because your solution must come from a place of having made mistakes, having tried again. So at that stage, it's not about you as an individual, but the capabilities of your organization. So some businesses require individual capacity. Some businesses require organizational capabilities. All right? For example, a bank requires organizational capabilities. A consulting firm requires organizational-wide capabilities. So depending on the industry you are, if your business requires individual capacity, it's okay to brand yourself, your company, and, this is me, because everything starts and ends with your own individual capacity. But when it requires an organizational capabilities, you should focus on branding the organization. And you can feature in the brand, maybe like a lead consultant or something, all right? But you can't make the brand immediately about you until you've achieved some tremendous success in that industry, say for oil and gas industry, banking industry. Let's take, for example, Tony Elumelu. Tony Elumelu has a strong personal brand that is now influencing the other brands.
The other brands, yes.
All right? But the brands are not dependent on Tony.
They are not, yeah.
All right? The UBA brand does not depend on Tony. And Transcorp brand does not depend on Tony. They already have their own individual brands. As a matter of fact, they all even have their, individual MDs, right? Who can also have their own personal brands. So when you get to a certain level, like the Tonys of this world, like Otedolas of this world, you're seen as an individual brand, all right? And your brand is helping your business, or is giving a little bit of, brand association to your business. But there is a place you get to where you can stand out as an individual brand, and your brand starts influencing any other thing that you are connected to, all right? But like I said, if you're just an entrepreneur starting out, you need to understand, what kind of organization am I running? Is there an organization that requires organizational capabilities, or a business that requires individual capacity?
So let's go into building a business, right?
Yeah.
And also attracting the right talent.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that you built your business ground up, and it's really, I think your business has a bit of both, really. There's the organizational capability, but then now you've gotten to the phase where your individual capability too has grown so much that it even influences the organization because, I mean, you're a lead consultant, globally recognized. But before you got there, how were you able to navigate the need for professionals that you couldn't necessarily afford to pay on on a month salary, but you needed them? And how do you also navigate areas where, I mean, most SMEs, one of the things they struggle with is they invest in talent, and then the talent leaves,
Up and leave.
ups and leaves. Then it's almost like SMEs have become like nurseries. You know,
That's
they
a
plant
job.
nursery
That's your job.
for
That's your job as an SME.
for bigger companies. So how do you now break beyond that barrier? You know, and how do you navigate those waters?
Okay, I think it's an interesting question, and also I think it's an interesting conversation, right? Every SME needs to understand that you're first of all a nursery, all right? The plant can blossom and stay within your garden, or somebody else comes around and pick it up, okay, or pluck it and take it away. So you need to face that reality, and the fact is you need to continuously train people and build their capacity, whether they're going to stay or leave. If they stay, you have something to hold on to. If they leave, you can't control that. So you're better off training people that may either stay or go than not train people and you don't have a pipeline of talent. I've seen what you have also done here with the talents that you have here. Not every of the talents have stayed.
Yes.
So that is your job, okay? And you need to be smart enough to also to understand that you need to have more than talent, as staff. You need to have partners that are co-owners of the business, and also have people that believe in the brand, what you're trying to do, and could provide their professional services to you on a need basis, right? And that comes with some level of credibility. Okay, so there are two strategies, and you need to look at the two strategies and have a mix of both. So when we were starting iCentra, we said to ourselves, you know what, we're going to have a projectized organization. Projectized in the sense that we're just going to keep administrative staff within that can run the system and outsource projects while I oversee the delivery and be the engagement director or the engagement manager or whatever it is, be the face to the clients, manage the clients, then bring in consultants from all over the world. And I could remember vividly well, we brought in consultants from all over the world, white skin, Asians or whatever, to deliver on our projects. But it got to a point when we realized that, okay, this model wouldn't work. We need a mix of both. Because, you're starting up, you don't have the resources to keep those, you don't have the funds to keep those resources in-house. But you now need to now start building the pipeline of the resources. Not too experienced, but they can get, a little bit done. So we had a pipeline of, graduate training program, even experienced hire as well. Some will come, some will go. And over the years, say out of the 15 years, we've had people, in the 10th, in the last 10 years that I've stayed with the organization, I've seen the vision, I've seen the growth of the organization, all right? So it's a mix of it. But do we still have consultants across the world? Yes, we do. In US, in UK, wherever, they are there, they're on our retainer. Okay, once there's a project, we get them on. But we now also have our own team within iCentra starts also scattered across the world who are on our payroll, whether there's job or not. So that's the investment you need to make. So it's a mix of both strategy. But starting up, to be honest with you, all we had was, what do we need to do? Look at our business model, where we have projects. So we deliver on projects, whether it's IT project, whether it is learning project, whatever project it is, whether it's a transformation project, it is for a period of time. And once you deliver on it, you need to disband these resources. So what model would work, which is a projectized organization. So we had a projectized organization, and for, say, a few years, maybe 5 years, at the first 5 years, and we realized, okay, now we're getting more engagement, we're being trusted. I can be, engaging with clients at all levels. We need to build a pipeline of internal consultants, and we're a bit stable. And so for me, it was time, or for us, it was time to now build in the team.